What does this location mean to me? This location means to me a few things, actually. It means work, first and foremost. It's where I earn my living. Creativity. Not knowing what the day will bring, but I know it's going to be creativity or based in creativity. And an unexpected challenge, because there's always challenges with screen printing, and yeah, it excites me. Why do I continue to do the work that I've done, or the work that I do? I guess, you know, kind of growing up, I realized that from an early age, there was a very deep, passionate interest in art, color. So this, for me, it doesn't feel like work, even though it obviously is work, but it doesn't feel like work. I'm still working with inks, mixing colors, talking to clients, coming up with new ways of design for their images, and the process is, on the surface, probably doesn't seem artistic, but to me it's very artistic. So there's an innate love of art and the artistic process for me. So being here every day just ticks all of my boxes, and it makes me feel part of a creative artistic process. So that's making it sound really elaborate and thought about, but it's an innate feeling. So I find enjoyment in it. Even on really, really tough days, there's an enjoyment for me that I'm part of this artistic, creative process, and that's what keeps me here. That's what keeps me in the field of screen printing, and yeah, it's that creative process that keeps me coming back.
On a keyboard, talk to me a little bit about which two things that kind of took away. One was the thing for colours.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, and the other one was that I feel like you said this from potentially like someone else's outside perspective of the process, not being that artistic, but to you it is. So just elaborate on those two things.
Well, for me, I mean, you know, when I was younger, I had a stammer from a very, very early age, and it's quite funny because I like to talk now, but as a kid I couldn't talk, and I didn't go to speech therapy. I think I went twice, and it didn't help, and I found that the same with Benjamin as well. When my brother realised that he had that he was dyslexic, it all fell into place with him. You know, and me realizing that I've always had a stammer, I still have a stammer. Why the world or the universe of art is so kind of real for me, because colors are, to me, words, and that's my poetry, is playing with colors, making colors come to life, mixing colors and overlapping colors, matching colors up. All of this, for me, is just, it's not wordplay, it's, I don't know what I would call it, color play, just playing with colors. And it's really difficult to explain unless you also have an impediment, speech impediment, sight impediment. These things are really deep and, for me, difficult to explain. I can't explain why I enjoy working with colors. It's like asking somebody why did they enjoy eating rice and peas or fish and chips or bacon and eggs, whatever. It's something that, for me, is inexplicable. I just know it's there, and it makes me feel very, very comfortable. There was a second part, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, I mean, was I wrong in that assessment of like, I thought when you said like it's potentially not seen as that artistic process.
The process.
You said that from someone else's potential outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Was I wrong in that?
No, you're correct, because when I've had people, when I've been training people in the past, you know, whether they be, you know, trainees or interns, that's always the part that they find the least interesting, when we're having to clean off the images, do all the stuff that has got nothing to do with ink and design. We're just prepping the screens, we're getting the screens ready for a new design. That's what, in the past, I found people just lose interest a little bit, or if I'm doing a workshop, that side of things, people don't seem to be as interested because there's no magic happening. But without that, you can't get the magic, you know. So for me, it's just all encompassing. That prep work and that screen printing work, where you're physically printing, it's all the same to me because you can't have one without the other.
Yeah. And like when prep work is integral to the process.
Oh my
and
god.
What is it about? You explained it a little bit, but what is it about that process pertaining to prep work that holds so much weight for you?
For me, it's not again because I've not mentioned it. So being someone who's done martial arts all of my life, especially Japanese martial arts, I can kind of understand the two disciplines. So it's always wanting to do a good job. Always wanting to do a good job. It might not look on the surface to be, I've done that perfectly, but when I'm cleaning the screen, I can get a bit, I kind of go down rabbit holes. I want to do the perfect screen. I want to blast up that image in the most perfect way. And I've probably cleaned off millions of screens in the past, but I always want to make it the perfect screen. And then when I'm cleaning it with the chemicals that we use, this is all like, for those who print t-shirts, they'll kind of know what I'm talking about. When I degrease the screen, I want to do it in a perfect way. That I find pleasure in the circles, wiping across and then hosing it down with water. Personally, I find pleasure in that. And to me, that's an artistic process. Now, to tell somebody else who doesn't have the same background as me, isn't wired the same as me, that they too should feel pleasure in that, it won't make sense to them because they probably won't feel any sort of enjoyment in that. But for me, it's same as practicing a certain kick a certain way, practicing, and it's never perfect, but that's why you practice, because it never will be perfect. There is no perfection. It doesn't exist. Just your way of doing it exists, but this perfect way doesn't exist. And it's the same with making screens. There's no perfect way to make a screen. So constantly doing it, I'm going around in circles here, and I'm probably over-explaining it.
I like it.
Yeah, so I married the two together. How I do my martial arts, how I've done my martial arts, and how I do my job here. It's kind of the same thing. What's my fondest memory of growing up in the community that I'm from? Some of my earliest memories and fondest memories, I don't have one, there's a bunch, probably more than a bunch. Playing in our local park, which is Aston Park, and just running down the hills, and when the parkies had done their grass cutting and just getting covered with grass because you're rolling down hills that have just been freshly cut, and the smell of the grass felt, you can almost smell it now, it's almost visceral, and it brings back warm memories for me, just being in parks. Aston Park, playing on the big apparatus and the roundabouts and the play centre inside Aston Park was always a fun place. But specifically, probably one of the most vivid and clear memories that I still have growing up in Aston was because my parents had split up from a very early age when I was quite young. Social services used to take us away every 6 weeks holiday just to give our parents a break because there was 8 of us, and we'd all go to spend probably 4 to 5 weeks on a farm in Bromsgrove. It was called Children's Holiday Farm, and that's where we'd spend our 6 weeks holiday, on a farm. It wasn't a working farm, just a farm for kids from the inner cities. who were less fortunate. And yeah, that 4 or 5 weeks there was very, very, very sweet moments, because up until that point, I'd never had full fat milk. Didn't know what full fat milk tasted like. We always had watered down milk because there were so many of us. So the milk was always watered down. We never had a whole fish and chips to ourselves. Always had to share fish and chips. Everything that was sweet or that was a treat, we always used to have portions of that treat. You know, everything was watered down or held back a little bit. But on the farm, that was the first time I can remember having full fat milk, and just the taste of it made me so happy. And yeah, there was a lot of firsts in terms of food, how food tasted. Go back to that farm, you know, butter rather than margarine, milk, as I said before, jams, homemade jams, cakes. You know, have as much cake as you want. I've never had that before. Always had to share, or don't take as much because it has to go around, or there's only half a cake left. All of this stuff was out the window on that farm. Just indulge yourself in being young and being a kid and being restless, having that energy and never wanting to stay still and play, all go back to that farm. And I guess it's why I enjoy being outside in nature so much, because it brings those memories back. What is it about my upbringing that gives me a strong sense of pride? When I was younger, I thought pride just meant one thing. As I'm getting older, or I am older, I replace pride with gratitude. And after the summer that we had, seeing all of the flags and hearing to people who are putting those flags up talk about pride, I kind of shy away from the word pride, and have been shying away from that word for quite a while now. And I'm leaning in more to gratitude. I think with pride, it's a one-way street. You just feel pride and that makes you feel good. I think with gratitude, it makes you want to give back. These people who are putting the flags up this summer aren't giving back. And that for me personifies what pride is. It means that you don't have to give back, how I see it. But if you're grateful and you're full of gratitude, you will give back. And I've always believed in giving back to communities that I'm from, even to communities that I'm not from. Just doing work with those communities, working in those communities. It's, for me, it's gratitude. It all comes from being grateful for what I've got, for what I've had. So yeah, I lean more towards gratitude. It just goes hand in hand with giving back. And I'm grateful to where I'm from. Born in Aston, raised in Aston, Newtown and King's Standing until I was 16 years old. And then after that, moving to East London, to Newham, East Ham, Manor Park. Then from there to Islington, and then on to Seven Sisters in Tottenham, all working class neighbourhoods. And grateful that I've lived in all of those places and taken from those places and built the person who I want to be. So those neighbourhoods have had a great impact on me and helped me build myself into the person who I am now, speaking to this camera and speaking to you and whoever is listening. And I'm grateful. Grateful to be born in the UK. Grateful that my mum came to the UK from Jamaica, St. Elizabeth, and that my dad came from Barbados. And I'm grateful for them, and I'm grateful for what my brothers and sisters have done, that have shaped our communities, how my brothers and sisters shaped our communities that I lived in. Super grateful for that. I'm grateful for the confidence that they gave me, telling me that I can be whoever I wanted to be. Don't have to put myself into a box. Don't have to dress a certain way. Don't have to talk a certain way. Don't have to walk a certain way. Just be yourself. Because I saw them being themselves. And I'm grateful for that. You know, I'm grateful to have the siblings and the cousins and friends that I have. And yeah, that fills me with a sense of gratitude. I only take pride in the things that I've done. I don't take pride in things that my kids have done, or that my siblings have done, or that my friends do, or anything that I have no connection to. I only take pride in something that I've done. Something that, yeah, I've crafted. Yeah, I'm proud of those things, but in terms of what my forefathers did, I'm grateful. There's no pride there. It's just super grateful. And that will help me move forward and give back and want to give back.